Alright, I'm going to start a little bit early, guys, especially after what happened on Saturday. Um, I'm gonna try to get some work done. I'm almost done with this next video, so I just wanted to try to get some work done. And what I've been trying to do is I've been trying to get a good night's sleep every day. The best thing for depression, which is kind of what I'm in. I'm in depression mode right now. Is sleep. Because you don't want to have lack of sleep. That makes you more depressed. But anyway, um, all right. So here we go. My name is Daryl Phillips, owner of Warplay G Gaming. What we do here is listen to you talk. I hope that everybody had a wonderful weekend. I had a pretty good one. I got a decent amount of work done actually. I hope that everybody got to go out. It was kind of rainy though. It was kind of rainy. I don't know if did any of y'all go out? No, I think it was raining on Saturday. But I do apologize for Saturday night's live. About 15 minutes before I got on, I felt unbelievably sick, and it hit me so hard. So I had to dip on out, and if y'all saw it, Sophia had to get on. She actually got on. I'm very thankful for her. I wanted to talk about the thing that I want to talk about tonight. If you're new to this, by the way, subscribe. I talk about all sorts of things to cover all sorts of subjects, depression, things like that. But the way I cover this stuff is from my perspective, because I have bipolar disorder and PTSD. I want you guys to see it from the lens of someone who actually has the problems, so you know how I attack the issues, as it were. And tonight's subject is no different. It's all great for me to tell you guys how to feel like you're not alone. That's one of the ingredients. But what if you are physically by yourself? But well, what do I do? What does Daryl do? Well, Daryl's going to have a lot of time to figure this one out, and you guys are going to help me along that journey. But I can tell you how I used to deal with it was not good. When you don't have friends and you don't have family to rely on, you can make some serious mistakes. And the thing that you feel inside, in my opinion, the best way to describe it is panic. Panic. There's this sense of dread that happens a long time ago, especially when I would be by myself, and I would have this sense of panic, this sense of dread, this sense of like it's just deep fear that's so deep, and the pain of it is awful. You start to do crazy things just because it's something to do. The way I deal with my alone time now is I try to get work done. That's I try to get things done. I try to use the time wisely, but it is not good, and it's not recommended either that you do these things alone. The object of carrying your ingredients and following your steps is to make yourself a better person. You're not going to do that alone. But for me to sit there and tell you, well, go make friends, it's not quite that simple. And some of you know that. Some people just don't want to be around you, maybe. You have to accept that. The subject I was going to do on Saturday was how to deal with ridicule. When you're alone, you're your own worst critic. Okay? because you're the only one there. You're the only one on commenting on yourself. So, and it's not usually the best for you. Or suppose you could be the opposite. You could be an arrogant person, and you could think that something's good when it's not. For me, my biggest fear is drinking alcohol when I'm alone. That's one thing I haven't drank since October, and the only reason why I was ever even drinking, even at that point, was because of the physical pain that I'm in. Like whenever I would run out of pain medication, alcohol was the only thing that could help me. But with my stomach issues, I can't really be doing that. But the reason why I used to drink years ago was because I needed to feel something other than the depression or whatever that I was feeling. And of course, inevitably, it would make it 10 times worse. Sometimes I will talk to some people that I'm friends with, and now Lori or Tanya, but they don't always have time for that. I'm not going to be an interrupter in someone's life. It's Monday, and I call it Motivation Monday. People call it Motivation Monday because it's the beginning of your week. But everyone fears Mondays. And it's because you're coming off of the weekend, and maybe you had some fun this last weekend or whatever, and you maybe you're feeling a little hungover, or maybe you got to go back to a job that you don't like. And I try to make the beginning of the week videos as something motivating for you to get through the week. But what if you wake up and you're alone? You're by yourself. It's something I thought about. That whenever Sophia leaves, it's going to be kind of what's going on here. That I will be by myself. How am I going to deal with it? Because I'm not the only one in the world like me. There's many people out on the streets right now that are homeless and things, and they are in a very bad situation. They don't have family, they don't have friends. It's just something you should be aware of that happens to people. If you are not one of those people, if you have family and stuff and you don't, then don't apply it. Just wait for me. Wait for Wednesday to come around, and we'll see if the subject that I cover is something that you want to hear. But you may know somebody like this, that they feel alone because they are actually physically alone. It's one of those things where all you need is one friend, and they can pull you out of whatever you're feeling like. But if you don't have it, it's awful. That's what I try to be here. So if you are that kind of person, you can always come to my YouTube channel, or if you found my Facebook page, you can come to my Facebook page or whatever it is, and you can know that you can talk to me. I might not answer right away, always, or you can participate in these conversations here. Hold on one second. But I have my battle that I'm fighting, and coming up, not too distant in the future, Sophia's gonna leave, and I'll be here by myself in this place. I will have to adjust things that I do, And thank God I have lots to do on my videos and so forth and so on. I have my live videos and I have this, and I'll be able to do other things to help myself. But you don't get through something by not thinking about it, avoiding it. I could just sit there and not think about it at all, and all of a sudden it sneaks up on me. Oh my God! But the pain and suffering that I go through is mine. It's not y'all's. I don't put that on y'all. I use it to try to show y'all what y'all can do if you go through it. Maybe some of you have gone through it. That's pretty much what I wanted to talk about tonight. It wasn't ever going to be a long conversation. These lives, I don't ever want to be a long conversation, unless it's unless it's a deep subject or whatever it is. These are only supposed to be short little conversations to get you guys through to the next video comes out. The main thing on these channels, on this channel specifically, is my videos that I produce. Those are a little longer, and they're to induce conversation, continually repeating certain concepts, and the idea of battling through depression and the things that I battle through daily. Every single day I battle through this war that I fight, and I'm winning now, but I wasn't, and I almost lost the war. But now I have things around me to help me through these things, so that when the moment comes and I feel like I'm alone and I'm sitting by myself, I don't feel like that I'm abandoned. That's the biggest, darkest feeling that I feel. Like my fear of being alone when I am alone, is that right there. It's the fear of abandonment, which goes into my PTSD. Fear of abandonment. The idea of that I was abandoned when I was a little boy, little baby. And that has devastated me to this day. And so, the thought of me sitting here and dealing with it is an awful feeling, but I know that I'm stronger now, so I know that I can. I know that I follow the steps and I carry my ingredients. I know that I have my friends that I've met. I didn't have those before. Okay. I told you guys, and I've said this several times. Hope is not an intangible thing. It is something you can rely on. But what is it? What is it exactly? Hope, okay, is based upon truth. The truth. Okay? Or trust. Trust is based upon time, consistency, and repetition. Once you understand that, you can get through anything, because you know that no matter what happens, like that I will be here on this camera for you, or I will be, if Lori tells me, hey Daryl, I want to talk to you, I'll be there. Same thing with Sophia, and so forth and so on. And I hope the same would be said for my friends. For the most part, it's true. And so, if you're ever alone, if you ever feel like you're by yourself, here I am. I will talk to you. So there is no worse feeling. There's no worse feeling in the world than feeling like you've been abandoned. Really, think about it. Everybody's worried about a lot of people are worried about their stocks. They're worried about the economy. Everybody's worried about their job maybe, or the lack of a job. Everybody's got their worries in life. Okay, and the politics doesn't help. Okay, hold on one second. I need to take one of these pills. Okay, hold on. Sorry. There is a back when let me tell you guys something. When I first left the group home, I was so wet behind the ears. I was wet behind the ears, didn't know anything, and I was scared to death of everything. Okay, I had some pretty unique talents that I relied on when I was homeless for the first time. But when I was around people, I was awkward. I didn't get along with people because I was strange. That's the best way I could say. I would say I'm pretty strange now. But, all jokes aside, I can carry on a conversation. I'm normal. I know how to act in public. I didn't know how to act in public. And it's a strange thing to me to think about my life back a long time ago and think about my life now. It's not close, y'all. It's not close. I wish I wouldn't have waited so long. I wish that I had not waited so long to figure out who I am. I feel like I'm so strong now, but if you guys knew me back in the day, when I was 18, I guess, was when I came out of the group home. I was a scared little puppy, and which again played to my PTSD and my fear of abandonment. I've known people like myself. Not exactly like me, but I've known other people with issues like me that I've met on the streets, that I would talk to, and they would talk to me. Nobody else would talk to them, just like nobody else talked to me. So, depending on where I was, I had a few people I would talk to, and I would get along with. But it didn't matter what the situation was and where I was. I felt alone at all times. But when I was by myself, my God, I was so scared. So scared. And that fear led to me making so many mistakes. Drinking like a fish. Being with women that I knew better than to get with. My family and other people that tried to help me, they eventually gave up on me because I had given up on myself, and they saw it. That's my biggest sin. That's the biggest mistake I've ever made, is giving up on myself, right? Hold on. That my fears did not allow me to have faith in me. It wasn't until I met Sophia that I felt like I could start to be myself. And it wasn't for a couple years. I'd say probably year 3 is when I really began to start working on my private issues. And I've known Sophia for going on 19 years. Think on that. Going on 19 years. Before Dwan passed away, I knew him for 25 years. So I had some people in my life that I would talk to, right? But none of that meant anything because I couldn't look in the mirror. I couldn't for the life of me look and see a man. I saw, truth of the matter, I really wasn't a man, but you understand, I in other words, I couldn't see me. I saw a scared little boy. It's really sad, right? I get still thirsty from those meds. I was raised in a Christian family, okay? And I had a family that loved me, or at least I thought they did. And my family doesn't even want to talk to me anymore. So like, even like when Sophia leaves, it's not like I have my family to rely on. So I've got to learn how to do this stuff by myself. Am I scared? Yeah. But I'm not scared for maybe the reasons why you guys think I am. I'm scared of not being the best person I can be. And that might sound corny to you, but I don't want to be a drinker. I don't want to be that kind of person. I don't want to be a person who I don't want to be a person who looks for trouble just to have trouble around him. I want to be a person that continues to work on my life, continues to learn about business and how to do business. As long as I keep on that path, I think everything will be fine. And you should think about that. As long as you keep on your path, you carry your ingredients, you follow your steps, everything will be fine. So let's make it to the end of this week, like we've been doing. We're going week by week. Let's make it to the end of this week, and we'll see how your week is doing by Friday, and you guys can see how my week is doing, and we'll check each other so that we know we're both okay, right? So that you're okay and I'm okay. That's how you do it as a team. Really. So I want you guys to drive safely. I want you guys to be safe when you're driving, and when you get there, be aware of your surroundings. Always be aware of your surroundings. Never just not be attentive. Be understanding of one another, not just from your perspective, but from theirs. Your perspective is not the only perspective. There's the other person's. We tend to forget that sometimes. But then again, be understanding of yourself too. In other words, you can't forget about yourself. Just because you're thinking about somebody don't mean you don't think about yourself and the way you react to things. And until Wednesday, okay, behave yourself and start your week right. Until Wednesday, may the Lord light guide you in all things. Goodbye.